Leaders who share their knowledge for the betterment of the industry. The most followed, retweeted, and liked mortgage professionals. 50 most connected mortgage professionals. Brought to you by Remen Wholesale.
Hi, I'm Carl Markman with Remen Wholesale. We're incredibly proud of our history of educating and partnering with the broker and banker community to prepare you for what's next. We've always been committed to same-day turn times on initial underwrites, which allows us to earn your business each and every day. We're happy to sponsor the following program.
Hi, and welcome back to another edition of National Mortgage Professionals 50 Most Connected Mortgage Pros. I'm your host, Rick Grant. Today's program is brought to you by Remen Wholesale. Now, today we have a special guest. He's been a friend of mine for a long time. It's Mark Madsen. He's the Vice President of Special Projects for Lender One Financial. He comes to us from Las Vegas. Mark, thanks for being with us.
Hey, thanks, Rick.
Now, you have made this list of top 50 multiple times, I know. So how long have you been doing this social media thing?
Well, I became an originator in Las Vegas in 1999. And by 2002, I realized that the consumer direct online marketing model best fit my personality and my style. So by the time our market crashed in 2007, I really had no other choice but to go consumer direct with the online thing. But I remember back in 2002, 2003, I was participating in forums where we had fake names, fake avatars. This was before personal branding, I believe, kind of polluted the conversation. We were able to focus on very specific topics and provide value based on the content of the conversation, as opposed to the advertising that I believe kind of corrupted the web. But it's been an exciting, process to participate in this whole social media revolution. I've been doing this for 15 years. And before social media was even kind of a term.
Yeah, I know. I've seen you online for years anyway. So that's impressive. But tell us what you can about your process. How do you handle it? I know you're busy in your work every day, and yet you have to make time for this, which a lot of originators think is kind of added work. How do you make it work?
Funny thing is, I think that social media actually saves time. The technology will group people by connections, by patterns, by search trends. And I find a purpose. I've been doing this long enough where I can basically protect myself from the web. I can really protect myself from distraction. So I've got a few different purposes when I approach the web with social media and social networking. If it's basic business networking, like industry related, I really like to participate in private groups. I like the private groups that are super focused on a niche purpose, a niche product, and they're moderated. They're moderated from the spam. Maybe 100 to 200 people in that particular group. And it's simple. Show up, add value, answer questions, and get to the root of whatever the problem is people are trying to solve. If it's consumer direct, this is easy. The web has created a way for us to really identify the exact person, the buyer persona that we're trying to market to, send them to a tailored landing page based on everything that they are looking for, and move them through the sales process. And both of those are easily measured, which I believe is very important.
Yeah, I think that's one thing most people don't do very well is measure their efforts. Is there any secret to that?
Well, there's enough technology out there. If you are really involved with, if your purpose is branding, you can find technology that will measure your reach, who you're connected to, the popular hashtags to follow, the popular influencers to participate with. If you are simply trying to measure leads to loans or leads to conversions, you just have to measure your pixels on where you're placing your landing pages and your ads, and your CFO will continue to write checks if those things convert.
That makes perfect sense. Now, one thing that scares a lot of people, Mark, is saying the wrong thing online. How do you decide what to post, what not to post?
Great question. And this goes back to protecting myself from the web. So I use a service called Feedly, Feedly. And what I can do is I can basically curate or aggregate everything out there, every single news feed or search, think Google Alerts, and it'll drop it into a special folder within my Feedly account. So in the morning, I can look at my phone or my tablet or while I'm on my desktop and just grab folders. So I've got a folder for 203K or for VA or for Funny or for compliance. And I can read titles, and it basically brings all of that data in, all of those news stories in. I can read the titles, click there, read the article within my Feedly account. And then if I choose to share something on one of my various websites, I run a lot of different websites for different niches. I believe in niche marketing. So I try to space it out, 20% links to my stuff, 80% links to outbound stuff. And I use a service called Hootsuite, but there's another one called Buffer. And you can schedule out your social media posts for the entire week. You can also measure clicks, traffic, how long they've been on your site. And I just schedule it out. I'll spend like 4 or 5 hours. I'll schedule stuff out. And if I'm reading 20 to 30 articles in a day, it's easy to find content. I just have to be very careful not to send traffic from my various landing pages back to maybe a competitor or a lead gen provider. I mean, a lot of these lead gen companies have got great content out there, but people don't realize when you're sharing their article, you're also sending people back into their atmosphere, to their ecosystem. So I find good value. And, one thing to pay close attention to is the audience that you are sharing. So you don't necessarily have to share from your personal Facebook profile everything to everybody. You can group your different audiences together and just send specific messages to different people.
Excellent strategy, Mark. Now, a lot of our viewers, for whatever reason, have not really got into this yet. They know they need to, but they're kind of at the beginner stage. So what's your best tip for someone that needs to get involved now?
I would say have a very honest conversation with yourself about what your purpose is. Because social media marketing or even social networking online will require a bit of time, money, and you have to justify what you're spending your time and money on. If it's personal branding, well, find those services that will help you measure your reach, understand exactly what you're going to be doing, clean up your profile, clean up your bio, maybe start with a professional business Facebook page, maybe LinkedIn, and approach it as such. Beauty with the web is everything is very compartmentalized. It is all very niche based. So you don't have to be, out there on the web doing everything you possibly can. You can just focus on this one group for local real estate agents who care about open houses. And that's your purpose. Provide value, create a marketing objective for them, help them, capture leads. And then for this one might be for recruiting. So you're going to spend your time in a LinkedIn group talking with originators. So have an honest conversation with yourself about the time you're going to spend and how you are going to measure it.
Mark, that is excellent. I want to thank you so much for being with us. I can see we've got to have you on the show again in the future.
I would love to be here, Rick. Thank you.
All right, we've been talking with Mark Madsen. He's the Vice President of Special Projects for Leader One Financial. Until next time, I'm Rick Grant for Mortgage News Network. This is Mortgage News Network.